Hello there, Mad Mike here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be doing a breakdown of the new Christopher Nolan film Tenet, which just came out with its first trailer. This is an interesting film. This is Nolan's first follow-up after his critically acclaimed Dunkirk. So this is again going back to kind of the Inception type roots, stuff in that genre. We're going away from the historical films, and this has been said to have something to do with time travel, and we do see that, or time manipulation, I guess maybe is a better way to put it. And we see that during the trailer, but let's go into it. So the beginning of the trailer, we're kind of seeing like there's a lot of scenes in this trailer that you don't really. It looks a little off, and you notice it the more times you watch the trailer. Again, it's kind of like that Inception kind of feel, where time is basically moving backwards, or things are moving backwards in time as you are watching them. And again, there's a couple moments here, but it seems like the beginning is one of those moments where it looks like they're rappelling up a building, but they're, leaping up the building. It looks like they're almost being pulled right up the building, but in reality, it's basically just rappelling down the building just in reverse. But from what it seems like, the two main characters that we see in this, John David Washington, who's the main star of the film, and also Robert Pattinson, is that they appear to experience things regularly. They can see things happening. They're not going in reverse, but everything around them is. And there's no real solid explanation given to that. But after we go through that initial scene, then you go into basically kind of they explain to you kind of what's going on, or at least kind of the setting. And John David Washington it shows that he's basically kind of like the special operations type of soldier, or spy or something along that, CIA maybe, something along those lines, although he seems like he might be military. And basically there's a monologue over the entire scene, and the monologue is stating that, you made a choice, you chose to die instead of giving up your comrades or something, and it shows him what appears to be being force-fed a cyanide pill on the train tracks by some random person that we really don't see that much throughout the trailer. And then he wakes up in a hospital bed, and he basically gets told by the same guy who gives the monologue over the scene that welcome to the afterlife. And this, it kind of sets a little bit up in the sense that it seems like this is going to be kind of like one of those undercover type of spy thrillers where, like, okay, they faked his death, so now they can use him however they want. He's a man with no name. The idea, he can be anonymous. They can make up whatever identity they want for him now that he's legally deceased. But they go into this, and then you just kind of jump around to a bunch of these different set pieces. And again, they have a lot of those scenes that appear to be running in reverse. There's a shot of a ship which appears to be going backwards, not making a wake forwards, which is interesting. There also appears to be there's a very interesting and more blatant scene at the end of the trailer where you actually see a car accident go in reverse, and it. John David Washington is in an SUV with Robert Pattinson driving, but they're driving backwards up the highway, which seems again kind of like okay, they understand how it's like operating in opposite land, kind of. It feels like a little bit because they're going in reverse to go forward, and catch up with these cars, or they're going. The car is in forward, but it is moving in reverse because, again, it's opposite day in this universe. But it has kind of that reality-bending feel, a lot like Inception had. And Inception is one of those movies, everybody went nuts over it when it came out in 2010. I was not that hot on that film. I didn't find it. I mean, I thought it was good. I thought the visuals were amazing. It was great to watch in IMAX. But the film itself, I didn't really find it just wasn't my thing. I preferred Interstellar far more. I thought Interstellar was a masterpiece. But again, these are just movies that hit me in different ways. But I do like Inception. Again, it's just kind of, it doesn't feel as good of a film as some of his other work. And this follows, again, in that kind of line. Now, they do mention throughout the trailer, we see several characters. We see Michael Caine in a very brief scene. We also see a female actress who appears to be kind of like a scientist, maybe like a Q-like type person. Again, We don't necessarily know how this is happening in terms of like how they're able to reverse time, but it seems like it has something to do with a very big like plot MacGuffin. Oh, this thing allows us to reverse time and stuff like that. Um, because they say that there's actually a point in the trailer where they explicitly state they were told that they are trying to stop World War III. John David Washington asks nuclear, or he states nuclear holocaust, and the woman retorts, no, something far, far worse. And again, this kind of seems like maybe this has something to do with the time travel. Again, maybe they're trying to go back in history and change things, and like that, they basically have a rewind button for time that works like that, as opposed to an actual time machine that picks you up and drops you off in certain points in times. Like time is like a video cassette where they can rewind and fast forward it. At least that's again how it seems like it's being described here. But aside from kind of those things, the trailer does not give away a lot, which again is the cardinal sin of trailers, is giving away too much, especially in your first and second trailers. And this does not give away really almost any plot points. We kind of know the starting point of the main character. We have no idea who any of these other supporting characters are. We don't know who Robert Pattinson is, or Michael Caine, or any of these other people, at least from the trailer. Now, existential information, aside. But the trailer doesn't necessarily reveal what they're doing. It doesn't say how they're able to do this kind of time travel thing, or how it actually works. Although, we can draw certain things from the trailer on how it actually functions in terms of just the functionality of the world. But they don't give away too much, which is good. You never want to give too much away with the trailer. Otherwise, what's the point in people going to watch the movie? And Chris Nolan is particularly good at this with his films for the most part. He tends to know how to keep things under wraps to the point where he doesn't give away the movie in the trailer, which is what sometimes these things do. So as a first trailer, I think it was good. I think it can. I think if you're a Christopher Nolan fan, it's obviously going to catch your interest. If you're an Inception fan, it's obviously going to catch your interest. I don't know how much it's going to grab people that are not necessarily a fan of Nolan's style. Again, it's Chris Nolan, so you know what you're going into. You know what you're getting. You're getting a quality film for the most part, so that you really don't need to convince too many people to go in. Again, it's kind of like a Tarantino film at this point. But the acting in the trailer, again, seemed fairly good, again, even though you have a lot of the jump cuts because of the way the trailer works. And they never really explain in this particularly what when they're in like that rewind phase, because apparently it appears that they're still in reality, they're still in our world, and they can touch and do and alter things, but it appears that the people around them do not know what's going on, or they don't know that they're there, or at least it appears that way from the trailer. So there's a lot of questions that are left to be answered with this. But again, like I said, as a trailer, I think this was a good first trailer. This was attached to Rise of Skywalker, and it came out online late yesterday. So as usual, I will link the trailer for Tenet below, and you guys can go watch it if you want. And as always, I want to know what your opinions are. Are you a big Chris Nolan fan? Are you excited for this movie? Do you like kind of that manipulation of time angle that they're going with this? That kind of altering of reality, or is this kind of like a lukewarm thing for you? You need to see a little bit more before you're convinced. As usual, leave your thoughts in the comments below. Again, I like to read them. Remember to hit the bell for notifications, hit the like button, subscribe, and remember, I live my life free of compromise. Do you?